Wie ihr seht, sind wir gerade bei Visma-Lease A Bike und ich habe hier einen der 5 Mechaniker neben mir stehen, Jupp. Er spricht sogar ein bisschen Deutsch, aber wir haben uns darauf geeinigt, dass es auf Englisch vielleicht doch am einfachsten ist. Er wird mir gleich mal kurz erklären, was an den Rädern so besonders ist, welche Modelle überhaupt gefahren werden. Und ja, danke, dass du dir Zeit genommen hast. Thanks for taking the time. Obviously, it's Cervelo Bikes. The stages are quite different to each other. Like there's a lot of climbing, but also flat-ish stages. There's going to be time trial and even gravel. Which bikes are you putting out there for the race?
We have the aero bike, the Cervelo S5, and we have the climbing bike, the Cervelo R5. It's a little bit weird with the wheels in for now, but because to make the aero bike as light as possible for the first stage. So we have the low wheels with the frame in the special design for the Tour de France. And we can make it on the UCI limit. The climbing bike is too light with the new SRAM group set. So we need to make it all more heavy or put more aero wheels in. So the aero wheels are the best advantage, but mainly they will ride on the aero bike.
So S5 is going to be seen the most?
Yeah.
All right. And then you also have a time trial bike?
Yeah, but it's not here. They deliver it before every time trial. There's an extra mechanic coming. So that's for us and most easy that we don't need to take everything for 2 weeks.
Okay. So how many bikes are there in total? Like, I guess everyone has a second bike in case of crashes and everything. Do you know how many there are?
More. Standard wide have 4 bikes, 2 aero bikes and 2 climbing bikes. They race on the aero bike. You have the first spare bike is the same aero bike. And then you have the spare bike of the second car is the spare climbing bike. So this one's then stay on the hotel so we can already prepare for the next. And when it's a climbing stage, you just swap. So every day when you have a crash or something happened, you just get exactly the same bike with the same saddle settings, same stem, wheels, chain rings, cassettes, just to deliver.
Can you tell us if the riders are going to change like from the S5 to the R5 or even back? That's a secret, no worries.
Normally, as far as I as mechanic know, they
stick to one bike for one stage. Okay, all right. So obviously it's the same bike for every rider, but I guess there are still differences. So maybe like the stem length or different saddle. I think I saw every saddle is physic, obviously, but different
models.
Yeah.
It's way lighter than a fully carbon deck saddle because there's less material inside. Also with the heat in the summer, it's more ventilated. And for each rider, the pressure points is for someone here, for someone is more in the front, they can make it specific.
And let's talk about like cassette and chain rings. Are there any differences from rider to rider in terms of the size of chain rings and cassettes, or is it all the same?
No, they can choose what they want every day. So for example, tomorrow, most of them ride with the 54-41 chain ring in front and with the normal 10-33 cassette. But it can also be that if you go like more climbing, that you go with the 52, then you already have the smaller 39 inner ring, then the 33 cassette is still enough. And if it's really climbing, we can make the option with the new group set with the same derailleur with the 36 cassette, but we don't use that so often.
Yeah.
All the bikes are also with the power meters.
It's worth it to put these few extra grams in it and have a power meter?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
But I think it's, don't blame me, I think it's 16 or 17 gram. For the power meters. But
I mean, you engrave your logo instead of a sticker to save like 0.5 grams.
Yeah, but if we do it with the frame, with the cassette, we weigh all the components. If we do it with everything, in the end, you make the bike really light.
Yeah. So what is the minimum weight?
6.8 kilograms.
6.8. All right.
It's included with the transponder system in it. It needs to be, when you take off the finish, you take off the garment, bottles out, it needs to be 6.8.
Okay.
If it's not 6.8, it's less, you're disqualified. And it's for us always a game to be on that limit.
Is everyone riding tubeless? Obviously, yes, right?
We only have tubeless wheels here. The tubeless is less rolling resistance, more aerodynamic, so I don't see the benefits of taking tubeless anymore. Well, for sure not in Italy with the slippery roads here sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully no crashes.
I hope. I hope for all of them.
Yeah. I see an Garmin 840, but here I see something I've never seen before. So what is it?
It's a Garmin 130. It's a smaller version with less options, with only a black and white display. For us, for the data collection, it's more than enough. And you can compare it with
It's insane how small it is.
Half the size.
They don't need any route, I guess. They know where to go, so it's...
Most of them put it on the route.
Really?
Yeah, because then they have a descent or climb. You can see how far the climb is and everything.
So you can like see how
you want to take the corner properly.
Exactly. That's so clever.
But that's not working with that one.
Okay.
Every one of them have 3 garments. They have for home they have the 1040, the really big one with the solar for training, and it lasts like 2 days.
Yeah.
Then you have normally for racing the 840. Still the performance, the weight, but you can see the route, and all the data collection is quite good. I have the really light one they use for the time trials and sometimes for the climbing stages.
Does everyone wear a heart rate monitor?
Yeah, because they do it also for the nutrition. We have the whole food coach system. The data from the garment we collected, and then they make a calculation for the nutrition and for the food. Probably the chefs can tell you everything about that part.
Is it your first Tour de France?
This is my first Tour de France, but I think my 6th Grand Tour this career.
Are you excited?
I'm really excited to do the Tour de France. It's a bit more things around, but normally Grand Tour is a Grand Tour, so it should be okay.
Are you even able to like follow the race during the day, or are you so busy you actually just like realize in the evening how it went?
It depends a little bit on the stage. It's 1 mechanic in each race. Then you have 2 mechanics on the hotel, and the 5th mechanic is going to bottle points and then come earlier back to the hotel to start preparing everything.
And what's your job?
We swap every year.
That's fair.
So normally each mechanic does the same amount of days in race car 1, race car 2 in the hotel. Just we make a system for relating.
What's the coolest job?
Everything is cool.
Everything. Oh, good answer. What are your hopes? I mean, obviously that someone from your team wins. Do you have any like personal favorite, or is it just like all for the team no matter how it turns out?
I hope we make a good result and that we have a nice atmosphere with the team. It's mainly my personal goal.
Yeah.
But I hope we have a good result. But we will see what it will get. I
mean, you're here for the win, aren't you?
Of course. But after the crash of Jonas a few months ago, it's not so long. So we hope the best and we will see.
Yeah. All right, guys. I guess we covered everything. Let us know if you have any more questions in the comments, and good luck to Visma-Lease. Fingers crossed, and let's see how it turns out.
Good.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.